with The Real Cinemas Blackpool and Ballincollig and online at therealpicture.com.
In a world where there's a million movie podcasts, here comes another one from themoviebit.com. This is the podcast.
Christ. Who taught you that technique? A friggin' cheese grater?
Anything gets more than 3 blocks out, you turn it back, you turn it to ash. So you listen to me and you listen well.
Hey everybody, how we doing? Welcome to the podcast from themoviebit.com in association with The Real Picture Cinemas Blackpool and Ballincollig. My name is Victor Barry, over there is Tom White.
Hello everyone.
I just said I'd give you a slightly singing intro.
Okay.
Don't sound so fucking enthused anyway.
You could have done it better.
Off you go.
No, I said you could have done
Oh,
it
I've got. Oh, okay. Put in more effort. I understand, Tom. I understand. You know, it's been a week since the last podcast. If you have been waiting for this podcast, chances are you still wouldn't have gone into GamerCon if you waited this long.
Topical.
Boom.
For only people in Ireland.
Yeah, what a travesty. I just because I suppose we've talked about video games in the past. This was this big gaming conference that happened in Dublin. Big, huge convention. It was everywhere on social media, and just for people
months.
couldn't get in. People couldn't get into this thing. And I think just because we've always kind of been entwined in games and comics and stuff, it's very important to note that future conventions will not be like this.
No.
You've got KerryCon, KCon coming up. You've got the Dublin Comic Con coming up, all run by the same people.
Yeah.
Good people who have pulled off event after event after event flawlessly.
In the same venue as
You were
well.
at Dublin Comic Con last year?
I was at Dublin Con last year. A spectacular event, really well planned. Everything went off without a hitch. They didn't sell 24,000 tickets for a venue that comfortably fills 7.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's don't let GamerCon put you off going to any other convention in Ireland. It's apples and oranges.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so this week we are I'm not sure what we're doing anymore. The amount of people who are so happy that we're back on the podcast, by the way, we do apologise again. Somebody saying, stop fucking apologising. You did nothing wrong.
We're Irish. It's what we do.
Sorry, but sorry. I know somebody actually, and their opening sentence for nearly everything is sorry. Sorry. How are you? Sorry.
Is he
how's it going?
constantly interrupting people?
How do you know it's a he?
Is she constantly interrupting?
How do you know it's a she?
Is it constantly interrupting?
It's a robot. So this week, I hate to say it, but we're going to be talking about Batman.
Yeah.
But with good reason. There may be a shining light at the end of the tunnel.
We're going to be putting down the DCEU yet again.
Well, let's be fair, Tom. We haven't put down DC and the Warner connection for at least 5 minutes.
Yeah, we did it last week.
But there is huge. I mean, this is the biggest superhero news of the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Never before has this happened in such a well-known superhero movie. We're not going to tell you what it is. You're just going to have to keep listening. That's it, Vic. Tease them. Get them to come along. Watch those THs. There's no TH in fees. But fuck it, go with it anyway. So this is huge. This is absolutely huge. And I have a prediction. That came to me last night in this epiphany of blinding light and farts. And trust me, I don't think...
What percentage of light and fart are we talking?
60-40. You be the judge if I was the 60. So anyway, look, we'll get to that in due time. We've got one of the greatest horror movies that you should see. Tom's going to be talking about that. And God only knows what else.
Yeah, it's not like we have a run out or anything.
No, we're completely unstructured. But listen, thank you for all the people who've been on Twitter and sending emails and messages on Facebook and dropping comments saying that, you know, somebody said it's so savage to have the podcast back. It fucking is savage. And it's not we were back, we just went on an extended break, no pun intended. Those of you who've listened to past episodes will get that. Anybody that's new is about to go, how the fuck do I unsubscribe? Have I subscribed? Where does it say I have subscribed? But we would love it if you would subscribe.
Yeah.
Can I just say as well, hats off to our sponsors, the Real Picture Cinemas. I was in there the other day. They've got this amazing the most comfortable seats in what I've sat on in quite some time. And we're not just saying that because they sponsor the podcast. Genuinely, I think the seats in Mahon Point Cinema, from the Cork perspective, are really great. I think the seats in Cineworld in Dublin are great. But I think what I sat in the other day in the Real Picture in Blackpool and a similar in Ballincollig is just insane.
I'm gonna have to check these out.
Insane. All right.
I won't even buy a ticket to the movie. I'll just sit there.
Yeah, that's it. Just sit there. Can I have a ticket for a seat, please? And how long would sir require a ticket for a seat? Oh, 15 minutes, like seep into it. Okay, let's get going. We like to start each and every show by blowing. I was going to go with a blowing a budget thing, but it just turned into this innuendo-laden diatribe of bullshit. So we like to start each and every show by teaching you things about the movies. We call this Tom's Trivia 3.
Tom's Trivia Tree.
All right. First up, Chad Stahelski, co-director on John Wick 1 and sole director on John Wick 2, was Keanu Reeves' stunt double on The Matrix.
No shit.
Yeah.
No shit. Speaking of The Matrix, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing?
We'll talk about that later. More teases for later.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
insane,
that's
isn't it?
really cool.
That either shows that Keanu Reeves is very, very old, or the director is very, very old.
Someone's old.
So, not that matters a shit.
No, not at all.
That's a really cool, clever piece of trivia.
Yeah, so like it's nice to know that.
Tell you, man, the trivia section of the IMDb is on fire these days.
Actually, no. I watched The Matrix last night and noticed this.
Okay.
That
is a genuine piece of trivia. That has not been copy and pasted.
Nope.
It's only been spat out of Tom's brain onto a screen, which he's now hoovering up like a golf ball through a hose and spitting that back into your proverbial ears.
Well, that was an analogy.
Move along, Tom. It's all about the golf ball through the hose.
We're back to IMDb. Walk the Line. The scene where Johnny Cash pulls the sink off the wall wasn't scripted. Joaquin Phoenix actually pulled that sink off that wall.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so he's met it as our old Joaquin. And then finally...
Do you remember when like people, he came on the scene first way back when? Don't even ask me what movie it is because trivia isn't my thing.
Yeah.
But people were always like, "Oh, what's your man's name? Is it? I think his name is Joaquin. Joaquin. I'm not sure. I think it's Joe. I'd say
it's originally
Joaquin. You know,
it's originally Beef.
Beef?
Leaf.
Oh, Leaf. Yeah. Beef.
Beef.
Yo, Beef. What's fell on the floor, Tom?
I have no idea.
Something has fallen.
Okay, I think we're good. Are we good?
I don't know. What's your foot on?
My foot's on the floor.
Okay.
Oh, it could have been this yoke.
This yoke. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, the place is falling down. Please, somebody don't call anybody.
Yes, yeah, this is live.
But Joaquin, when you first hear the name Joaquin, you're like, the fuck name is that?
Joaquin.
You know? Anyway.
And then finally, Stan Lee didn't have a cameo in X-Men First Class because they shot it too far away.
I'm sorry, that's real. You know how the BBC and all the news networks around the world have a prepared plan for when the Queen dies? I hate to be, but I'm being realistic about it.
Yeah.
And I come from a media background, and there are a bunch of tick boxes that you have prepared when somebody prominent dies. Tom will be writing the Stan Lee one this week.
Yeah.
No, because he's 30. I really hope there's another 100 years left in Stan because he is amazing. Yeah. But he cancelled some appearances recently because he's not doing too good.
He never does that. So,
we hope he's.
Or thoughts of what you Stan.
He's
exactly 60 years older than me. We share.
That makes Tom 70.
Yes.
Oh, you got the same birthday.
We got the same birthday, 28th December.
Okay, cool.
As well as Nichelle Nichols.
Let's stick with the Stan Lee one. It's far more impressive.
But yeah, so Stan, if you're out there, we know you're listening.
We love you, sir.
Yeah. Stay safe.
but Tom will be writing.
I will be writing.
Tom will be
something.
putting the templates together. Anyway, right, moving on. Is that it?
Yeah,
That's
that's
like Tom's Trivia 15 there, as opposed to Tom's Trivia 3. Is it fair to say we're in a slight lull? The calm before the storm, because blockbusters and I do think the kind of blockbuster summer season is naturally dying. I think we don't have to wait until the summer anymore. Well, I think Tom touched it off last week that Kong Skull Island would have been generally a summer movie.
yeah, definitely.
Even if you go back,
Even Logan would have been a summer movie.
if you look at Godzilla, the Emmerich Godzilla, like that was a big summer movie.
Yeah.
But when did Garrett Edwards Godzilla? Was it like November? Or was it summer?
It was the summer.
Was it summer?
It was around the same time as what's the name of that movie? Edge of Tomorrow.
Okay.
And I think that was early summer.
Yeah, so like the whole blockbuster season is diluting, and it's just been spread out. And I think it's probably a better thing
Yeah.
for movies in general. Because you just don't get so infuriated for a whole summer. You can get slowly infuriated over the period of 12 months.
Yeah, so it's all about prolonging the infuriation,
The venom.
the venom.
It's all about the venom. It's all about the venom.
It's all about keeping us angry and staying angry.
I don't think
That's the internet.
I don't think that's a problem really for most folks who live on the internet. Alrighty, let's get to a review this week. By the way, you can email us podcast@themoviebit.com. You can drop by the Facebook page, and of course you can hit us up on Twitter @themoviebit. Tom,
Vic.
comedy, drama, horror, amazingness.
Yes. We are talking about Get Out. This is from Jordan Peele, one half of, I consider, comedy geniuses Key and Peele.
See, I'm sure this is a point where somebody's going, where's the unsubscribe button? So, like, people are like, those guys, I would never associate Jordan Peele with something like this.
No, not at all.
I don't think anybody would. I think a lot of people may not know who he is, but if you showed them a clip on YouTube, you go, oh, that guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Get Out has been riding a tidal wave of critical praise. It's one of the few movies to get 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. And it's, as Vic was saying, it's not something you would expect from Jordan Peele, because it's a horror comedy, but it's also a social commentary.
Do you know when you say horror comedy, a lot of
Yeah.
people would say Scream was a horror comedy.
And they'd be right in saying.
And are we in the same kind of vein? Or a little bit more? Or
We're in the same way. It's not at all as meta as Scream was, and that's where the comedy came from. It was them poking fun at the tropes. But it's... Yeah, you would put it, if you're like making a section of a DVD or Blu-ray collection for horror comedies, it would go beside Scream, but it's a different sort of beast.
Okay.
And so basically the story is, you got Chris played by David Kaluuya, or I probably butchered that name, but he's a young black photographer who's going to meet his white girlfriend's parents for the first time, and he's a bit nervous because he's been in this situation before, of how he's treated, and he's right in being nervous because when he sets foot on their lavish estate, it just becomes a landmine of awkward racism and intentional comments and all that. But what he has to worry about is his girlfriend's parents' black servants, who are acting pretty mysterious. And what Get Out does, and like its big selling point, I think, is that it holds up a mirror to basically liberal racism, and kind of it holds a mirror to the type of people, oh, I can't be racist, my best friend is black, that kind of thing. Like, they're doing more.
I'm not a racist, but
Yeah, not a racist boss. Yeah, and they're doing actually more harm than good to their cause. And thankfully, though, like, Peele doesn't kind of harp on about it. It's there, he puts it out there. He's more concerned with telling an entertaining story, and Get Out is just such an unbelievably entertaining experience from start to finish. Like, this he wrote the script as well. The script is so smart, so layered, and like it drip feeds you the information, and you're in as much in the dark as Chris is, and your unease matches his unease, and kind of you get more uneasy, and the dread becomes more palatable the more you learn, and the more the movie marches on. And look, it is billed as a horror, but it has the trappings of psychological thriller. And like as soon as the action transplants to the estate, it's the creep factor is just dialed up all the way up to 11. Like there's one or two jump scares thrown in there, and they're welcome. They're not they don't seem tacked on. It all seems organic, and it's shot through with a style all its own. It brings hypnosis into it. Catherine Keener plays Alice or Rose, his girlfriend's mother, and she's a hypnotist, and those hypnosis scenes kind of, again, you're going to go, what the hell's going on? And you're completely thrown off kilter. And like they introduce a concept called the sunken place, and when you see it, it's go, oh my god, what the hell am I watching? And like this trippiness, it further goes to foster unease in the audience. And the cast, which also includes, as I said, Keener and Bradley Whitford, who's also in one of my other favourite horror comedies, Cabin in the Woods. Peele slowly cranks up just this weirdness until the bonkers third act. And this, by comparison, the movie was sedate until we get to the last half hour. And just every little detail, every little element that was introduced comes together in just a torrent of just gore and violence that wasn't there before. And the twists, this movie twists and turns, and you won't see half of them coming, which I absolutely love, because horror movies are getting really predictable, and this is anything but predictable. And as I said, it was a comedy, and the comedy, most of the humor comes down to Lil Rel Howery as Chris's best friend Roz, and he is separate from the action. He's at home in Chris's house, and he's trying to piece together what's going on separately from Chris. And you'd think that cutting from the action to like just focus on the comic relief would like veer the movie off course.
Yeah,
but it doesn't. It gives you a breather from what happened, and then kind of it also kind of heightens the dread, because you're like, oh, this is really funny. What the hell is waiting for us when we go back to the estate? You know that feeling,
right?
And yeah, it just gives us time to catch our breath until another crazy twist is thrown at us. Like, this movie is so damn entertaining. It's like it's thought provoking. It's incredibly funny. It is one of the best directorial debuts I've seen in recent years, and is one of the best horror movies of the last 2-3 years. I'm giving Get Out 5 stars.
Cool.
Yeah.
We haven't had a 5-star movie in a bit, have we?
No, we...
Logan,
La La Land, John Wick 2.
But other than that...
Yeah.
Okay, alright. So, is it one of these movies that's a good date movie? Will you be talking about this when the movie ends?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so it leaves a mark.
It leaves a mark, yeah. And I want to see it again. I haven't had a chance.
Why do you want to see it again? Do you think you've missed some of the levels of detail, or it's just that damn good?
It's that damn good, and kind of I picked up on some of the details going through, and I just want to pick up on more, basically.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty, time to let our own critically acclaimed screen actor, let him get out and let him loose on something that he hasn't been a part of.
A critically acclaimed screen actor quotes movies he hasn't starred in.
Mutation. It is the key to our evolution. It has enabled us to evolve from a single-celled organism into the dominant species on the planet. This process is slow, and normally taking thousands and thousands of years. But every few hundred millennia, evolution leaps forward. I think our critically acclaimed screen actor may have added a certain Gusto,
Gravitas.
even to X-Men.
Yeah. I know he'd make a good Professor X. Would he go bald though?
I don't know. If the price was right, I guess. That's my excuse. Yeah, I think it's a line. It's a little bit of dialogue that's not hard to deliver, but at the same time, it needs the right person to deliver it. And there's only a few people, I think, that can deliver that. I mean, mutation! It is the key to a revolution! Brian Blessed couldn't fucking do it.
No, not at all.
People like, you were like fucking mutated, man. Shut the fuck up. For every few hundred millennia.
Now I just want to see him as Professor X.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
It would
with
be,
just
yeah.
with the beard and just a shaved head.
Yeah.
That would be good. You know? Or Jesus, Barbossa even doing it.
Oh, God.
Mutation, Jack Sparrow. It is the key to our evolution. It has enabled us to evolve from a single-cell organism.
I just got in there for comedic effect. Didn't work.
Look, we've done Barbossa, we've done Brian Blessed. I think you have to do Gilbert.
Mutation! It is the fucking key!
No, leave him alone.
No.
All right, look,
That was too much.
We have far more important fish to fry here. Keeping with a nautical team with Barbossa.
Okay.
That's about as close as we can get. We mentioned this earlier on. Don't worry, we're going to be talking about this gigantic Batman news. But The Matrix. The Matrix is getting another release. No, it's not being upgraded to 8K. No, it's not got a new soundtrack. Or no. It's a reboot. It's a reimagining. It's maybe a prequel. Nobody fucking knows.
It's something.
The biggest problem here is
Why
this is news. Did somebody somewhere in Warner go, you know what, it'd be a real good idea? What about if we reboot that Matrix movie we had, eh?
he should have.
That would be a Canadian rep in Warner.
Yeah, I was about to say. He should have been taken out.
I have a big problem with Hollywood not being that original. If you go back through time, every movie is remade another way and same story. You know, that's fine. There's a key couple of original movies.
Yeah.
Hallowed ground. Stuff like Back to the Future, which will never be rebooted.
I think the producers are actively stopping it.
Yeah. It's Bob Gale, Zemeckis.
Yeah.
They have this fucking deal and Spielberg that it's never going to be same with E.T. So there's these kind of movies that are hallowed ground, and The Matrix for me would have been one of these movies that you can't reboot it, you can't remake it, you can't bring it to a new audience because it's available for an audience right now, and it is one of the finest. The first Matrix movie is one of the finest pieces of cinema in years. Yep. It's got amazing set pieces. Okay, Matrix Revolutions, and what was the other one? Reloaded. They just don't have it.
Yeah.
But the first Matrix is groundbreaking.
And there's your proof that you can't redo the Matrix.
Yes.
Yeah. The Wachowskis tried to do it and they couldn't.
Yeah. But like, here's the thing: why does somebody think this is a good idea? Why does to me the Matrix has a cult following. It's like the Pulp Fictions of the world. It's got a core audience, that's it. And it doesn't, because it's almost an inside the box experience for most people. It doesn't transcend to mainstream audiences that well. You know, even though it's very accessible.
Yeah. It's one of my sons. He's 12 and it's one of his favorite movies. He watches it religiously.
You know, but it's just one of these things where I would love to see the algorithms and the fucking calculations that came up with this.
Green, just numbers just going down the screen.
I cannot see where clever Tom. I cannot see where this could possibly be a good idea.
Yeah, it's like this all started. It's all just a rumor at this stage, but it's a rumor that seems to have a lot of credibility. And so Warner Brothers are guessing Zach Penn, who he wrote the first draft for Avengers, he wrote the Incredible Hulk. He's going to do this, going to shepherd this new version of Matrix, whatever it is. Michael B. Jordan has been signed on for it. And when we first heard about it, it was going to be a reboot. Which, no, don't reboot us. You can't reboot the Matrix. It's a movie that's so important to the history of cinema. It revolutionized movies, basically, how action movies are done.
And of course it created and invented bullet time.
Yeah, and like And games, music videos, TV shows have all embraced bullet time and used it. And then Penn himself kind of went on Twitter, says, not a reboot, you can't reboot The Matrix. Who do you recast as Neo? Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves is the only Neo. Now the new rumor is it's a prequel. And it's focusing on Morpheus, which makes sense with Michael B. Jordan involved. Like, you can't do worse than Michael B. Jordan if you want to take over from Lawrence Fishburne.
You can't do worse?
What?
You can't do worse?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Is that meant in a positive light?
Yes.
I'm awkwardly confused.
Yeah, I think I am confused there. Michael B. Jordan is a good choice. Great actor.
That's
That's
okay.
it. That's it. Talking weird. So that focus on Morpheus kind of, I'm a bit more okay with that. I'm not totally down for a new Matrix, but if it's going to be something new, but still.
What the fuck is it going to involve? Like Morpheus turning up at the local pharmacy. Have you got any red pills and blue pills?
I think Warner Brothers have seen the success of Rogue One and are going to build a story off Morpheus' first visit to the Ark.
For anybody that can't see the podcast, I'm
Yeah.
shaking my head. Have they not learned anything from trying to imitate another franchise like the Marvel stuff? Have they not said we're trying, but we can't fucking do it, and leave them do their own way?
Yeah.
It's insane. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever that they're doing something like this. I cannot see the appeal of it. Is there a big enough fan base to go in there and watch a prequel for a secondary character? Is there? I don't think there is. The Matrix was always about Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
To me, somebody can say, no, fuck you, it was about Morpheus.
Well, he is the focus of the first one.
Yeah, but it always, you always knew that it was Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, it was always about Keanu.
Was primary.
It was always Neo's journey.
Yeah. So I don't know, is the fan base there? I certainly, personally, as a huge fan of The Matrix, would have no interest in seeing the Morpheus story.
Yeah.
Somebody go, oh, it's fucking racist anyway. Jesus. I just would have it just doesn't appeal to me. I didn't like the character in the movie anyway. I felt he was a bit drawn out, but I don't see where the appeal to make, $500-600 million off of this character and an arc like this, and possibly, maybe if this was straight to Netflix, maybe if this was a TV show where, 4 or 5 seasons, you had prequels to The Matrix, Netflix, Reed Hastings is listening, these guys are fucking onto something. Where you had a prequel for each of the characters, like Trinity and so on.
Yeah.
Maybe in that kind of thing where you could binge it out over 5 or 7 episodes. Or a web series. I can't see why or how this will work, and invariably there'll be a cheesy bullet time sequence in there as well. If this happens, I think Michael B. Jordan is a huge talent. He's really, really good. And I'm not saying he would put in a bad performance, but I think the actors is only as good as the story, and I think the story for a Morpheus prequel isn't strong enough. I don't think there's a fan base there for it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
At the movie bit on Twitter.
Warner Brothers are definitely they're thinking they're going to capitalize on people's nostalgia, and I think they underestimated how beloved The Matrix actually is.
Yeah, and in the same fucking way where Sony completely underestimated Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Where Paul Feig was, you can't fucking judge a movie before it comes out. Well, fuck you, Paul, we ain't going to see it. What are you going to do now?
I had to see it.
Shut up, Tom. But it's the same kind of thing, and I think the Ghostbusters reboot or reimagining or dog shit, whatever you want to call it.
Let's go reimagining. It's a loss.
That was the beginning of a revolution for movie fans, because they did vote with their feet. They hurt the fucking movie. It's I think it's a write-off at this stage financially, and they will do it again and again and again. And it's about time movie fans did that, and I think that's a great thing. So,
you could start doing with the 50 Shades franchise. That'd be great.
That's because we're all sitting in plastic sheets and these fucking Drenched. Oh yeah. Yeah, but there's the thing. 50 Shades franchise, no fucking denying the success of the book, one of the most badly written books ever. I also wonder, all of the people that read the book and all of the people that flocked to the cinema to see it and fucking squelch in the seats, have they ever heard of the fucking internet?
They want classy porn, Vic.
I know, Tom, not the shit you be looking at. Literally. Deutsche Scheiße porn. Yeah, anyway, let's move on. We talked about this at the top of the show, which was, felt like 4 days ago. How far are we into this thing? I don't know. I've lost all time in reality. Maybe we have disrupted the space-time continuum, which is quite possible. But anyway, enough of that.
Nice little journey went on there, Vic.
Yeah. Recently, we told you about Ben Affleck no longer wanting to direct the Batman.
The Batman.
The Batman. Which was about Batman getting his pension or some shit. And it had, like, it was written by Ben Affleck and Jeff Johns.
Bona fide comics legend.
I mean, literally, we talked about Stan Lee earlier on.
Yeah.
Jeff Johns is up in that same space.
Yeah, he revolutionized the Flash for DC Comics, the Justice Society.
And Tom is the comic book guru here, but like, I think if you had some comic book greats at dinner, you'd have the likes of Jim Lee, Stan Lee, and you'd have Jeff Johns in there as well,
and the ghost of Jack Kirby.
Yeah. And he was in there, and now it's come out that, Tom, do you want to deliver the bad news?
Yep. The Batman script is getting a complete page 1 rewrite. Let that sink in.
Do we know who's doing the rewrite?
I do know that before this news happened, they were tweaking Affleck and John's script, and it was Chris Terrio, who Argo. He did the rewrite on Batman v Superman. He's writing Justice League. We assumed that's Terrio doing the complete rewrite, but this completely this put like Batman was rumored to come out next year. That's off now. It's now the tentative start date for shooting is like middle of 2018. This kind of like apparently Warner Brothers are now clamoring to put a movie in there to fill the gap that the Batman would have had. And yeah, it's happened before with the Flash. The Flash is getting a page 1 rewrite as well, but this hadn't happened to a movie this anticipated and a character this big.
Yeah, it's fucking huge.
Yeah,
it is. It's like JJ coming out and going, "Listen, guys, Force Awakens, we're going to put it out for 6 months because we need to rewrite it." Well, they did.
Yeah, so it's exactly like JJ.
No, I think if you put all the pieces together, Ben Affleck said that he couldn't direct and act in the same movie because of the character and so on. This is his pride and joy. How many movies has he directed and been the lead role in over the last couple of years? Quite a number.
About 3 or 4.
So you're looking at Argo, The Town and stuff.
Yeah.
So he couldn't do it for a fucking guy in a rubber suit. This is one of the reasons Affleck fucking left. And I think that he was able to scrape out of that contract or whatever he had. He can't scrape out of the Batman contract. I would think if he could, he would.
Yeah.
This is boding really, really badly for that character. Now, I mentioned I had a fucking prediction, an epiphany in the 60-40 range of farts and lights when it came out. I think Christopher Nolan's going to come back.
Ooh. To direct?
Yeah.
They're going to throw Matt Reeves out?
Yeah.
After the debacle of getting Matt Reeves to sign on.
Yeah, or I think they're going to get Nolan involved in more of an, not like executive producer who just turns up, "Hi lads, I'll have a cup of tea there, thanks," and get paid for it. I think they're going to get Nolan back in, and like whether Reeves has signed a multi-picture deal or not, we don't know, but I think Nolan is going to come back in. I still don't think, as much as a talent as Matt Reeves is, and I think he's fucking amazing. Yeah. He really is amazing. I'm not sure he's a good fit for this. I think if there's anybody with any fucking brains...
Not enough CGI monkeys.
Yeah. If there's anybody with any brains in Warner, they go, what do we need to do to recapitalize on what we had with Batman.
Yeah.
And that would be, okay, we're having a clean slate. Fuck it, let's just go back, pay Affleck off, let's cut our losses because we're going to lose anyway. Get Nolan back in.
Yeah, that was the rumor a couple of months back, that they knew the script was terrible. But
Remember that big thing that, who was it? There was some guy came on Facebook or Twitter and
Chuck
said...
Palahniuk.
Yeah. Who said all the Warner execs didn't give a shit. They knew they were going to make a shit ton of money. They didn't care. You know, blah, blah, blah. He retracted that, said, you know, what the fuck do I know?
Yeah. I only wrote Fight Club.
Yeah. I think this is an opportunity to get Nolan back in.
Yeah.
I don't think an audience wants to see an aging Batman. I think, you know, maybe that's a TV show somewhere down the line. Okay.
Are you...
Snyder did the whole fucking tribute to Year One.
Dark Knight
Returns rather. Yeah. So that's been done. I do think that if they scratch the plate, well, see, here's the fucking thing. Here's because they weren't very clever, and I think they overestimated the love that would be for an aging Batman and Affleck in there. They've now fucked up the next couple of movies that they had Batman attached to in any capacity, because yes, he was in Suicide Squad. Okay, so there's 2 Justice League movies.
Yeah.
Invariably, there should be a cameo or 2 for Batman somewhere else, because he is the biggest character. They would be foolish not.
He's going to be like the DCU's Nick Fury. He's going to come in and out. Yeah.
So now that, I guess in one sense, they can't change, or can they? Because if they change to go back to the Christian Bale Batman, if they brought Nolan back in, then they would fucking make shit of what they have.
Yeah. Well,
or maybe not. Maybe not, but you can't explain that to an audience like, well, he was like 75 in that last movie, and now he's like 35. How the fuck that happened?
Well, there's already those reports that Man of Steel 2 is going to be a lot lighter than the previous other Superman movies that we've had. So kind of that's, I know it's not...
Somebody's going, even lighter than Richard Donner stuff?
No, it's Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. And I know that's not changing an actor's age, but it's changing the character's persona. Mm-hmm. So that's happening. So they could kind of tweak the character a bit more.
Maybe, and I think with Batman, I never liked the suit. I think the suit was a bone of contention for a lot of people because...
Oh, you didn't like the shorter ears?
Yeah, and just the bulkier Batman and the old fucking aging grey suit. I think they got the character wrong for movie audiences.
Yeah, like, they didn't do enough with an older Batman.
And you see, if you automatically have an older Batman and you instantly know that it's an older Batman by the trailers because you have a slightly graying Bruce Wayne, he looks older and wrinkled and bust up, you're alienating the younger audience who think, oh fucking hell, you know, The Dark Knight that was fucking cool, and you'd fucking Heath Ledger who was a skater, he was the fucking Joker, you know, you'd all this stuff going on that was appealing to young and old. And because if you went to see The Dark Knight or The Dark Knight Rises or Batman Begins, you go, fuck it, I want to be like that Batman. If you see Batman v Superman, you're like, I don't want to be like fucking pensioner Batman. You don't.
I don't want to kill.
You know? Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So I think this is a clusterfuck of the highest order. They maybe just need to fucking...
Something they could do.
I know.
Batman Beyond it.
Batman what?
Batman Beyond, the old... it was the cartoon that followed the animated series. It was an older Bruce Wayne training a younger Batman. I think that's maybe like way down on the list of things they could do.
So he'd be like training Christian Bale.
Training Christian Bale.
And then the whole fucking space-time continuum is destroyed.
Or they could adapt the Nightfall storyline. I know they kind of did that a bit with Dark Knight Rises, but kind of have a Batfleck put out of action for a while, bringing a new, younger Batman, and then kind of maybe a movie or two of this new...
No,
more brutal Batman.
The more you think about this, and think about this, listeners, the more fucked up it is. The more screwed up this gets every step of the way. And it's not just this movie. If you look at how Batman v Superman is fucked up, if you look at how Man of Steel was screwed up, and I think Snyder has to take some of the blame.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what's gone wrong. In my book, Snyder's adaptation of Watchmen is the greatest comic book movie of all time. I stand over that.
Okay.
I think it's amazing.
I piss on you.
Okay, well, I might like that. I think his adaptation of 300. He seemed to have this great connection with Frank Miller.
Yeah.
And for some reason, something happened somewhere, and we're not sure what. Studio interference, possibly, but Snyder has to take some of the blame for this.
I think his hard on for doing The Dark Knight Returns got in the way.
And
because around the time of The Dark Knight, he was talking about taking over from Nolan and doing The Dark Knight Returns, and Nolan was like, well, after I'm finished, bud. So some of the blame does lie with Snyder. It does also lie with Warner Brothers, because you get the feeling from all of these, even the Green Lantern, that it's movie making by committee, that they can't leave well enough alone. They can't give enough creative control to people, can't trust people to do their own thing. They have to have involvement.
Yeah, and I think if Snyder really had wanted to do justice to Miller's Batman, then they would have left him do what the fuck he wanted.
Yeah.
And then it would have been an R-rated movie, potentially.
That's another option for them now.
That is another option, and unfortunately, I think by the time this gets around, Deadpool 5 will probably have fucking finished that off. But it's just when you think about this, and I say this every time we go on, you have the two biggest fucking characters in pop culture, in movie history and comic book history, Batman and Superman, and they have fucked them up royally. There hasn't been a good Superman since Donner stuff. Singer came very close with Man of Steel. There wasn't enough Superman stuff going on in that for me. Nolan's version of Batman, yes, we could be fanboys, but at the same point, you look at it and you go, this is how a Batman movie should be. You look at, Snyder's Batman v Superman, that's not how it should be.
No.
You look at Man of Steel, that's not how that character should be. And the prime example is if you go back and you look at Mark Webb's Amazing Spider-Man, they Nolanized it with the fucking lizard, and everything was dark and at night and it fucking rained continuously, and Spider-Man had this dark kind of red-blue suit, which was nothing like the comic book character. He didn't really have the personality that is akin to Peter Parker. And then for The Amazing Spider-Man 2, somebody threw the fucking toys out of the pram and said, fuck this shit, we ain't going to do what we've done because it didn't work. We're going to do something completely different. And it blew people's minds. I loved The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It was really, really good. It was bright, it was colourful, it was funny, it was punchy, it had some amazing action sequences. They got it right.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think for the fact that it wasn't Nolanized.
Yeah, and I think, you can't Nolanize everything.
Yeah, you can't.
It's not a fucking Instagram filter, Hollywood. Oh, there's the Nolan filter. Oh, I'd say it's to the right of the Spielberg one. You just can't fucking do it. These people are talented at what they do.
Yeah.
They know what they want from their cinematographers. They know what they want from their story, especially when their brother is fucking writing it. So you can imagine, Christopher shouting upstairs to John, is that fucking page done yet, is it? I'll be down in a minute. Put on the tea.
Did you put that thing with Joker in the pencil?
So this is just cataclysmic as far as I'm concerned. Either now they drop the anchor and they just fucking abandon ship and start all over again and do something completely different, and that is not really doing The Amazing Spider-Man 2 in it either, because it doesn't lend itself to the character.
No.
Get Nolan back in.
Yeah.
Whatever he wants, give it to him.
What I'm bummed about is...
Can you fucking imagine Christopher Nolan coming back and doing fucking another Batman movie? Think about that. I mean,
I can imagine him locking Snyder out of the studio.
Yeah, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely.
But what I'm bummed about this page one rewrite is that they'd cast the villain, Deathstroke. And
who was always I feel is a secondary villain or tertiary. He's like a sidekick villain in one sense.
He's his place in the DC universe has been kind of elevated as of late, and he always seemed like the other side of the Batman coin, which I think was a breath of fresh air from all the times we got the Joker or we got the Penguin. And look, the Joker's a great character, Penguin's even a great character, but having a sane villain, not some crazy madman, is something we haven't seen with a Batman movie before. And I was looking forward to it, but now Joe Manganiello, who's playing Deathstroke, who was going to play Deathstroke, doesn't even know if he's going to be in it anymore. So we could, for all them trying to change everything, we could just get another rehash of a villain that they had before.
That's why they leave Nolan back into the fucking playhouse.
Yeah.
And obviously, look, there's politics and bullshit and dick sucking going on that we don't know about and has gone on that we don't know about. But either way, whatever way you paint this Batman picture now, it really is a big, dirty mess.
Which is pretty apt for the DCEU. I don't think any of their films have not had controversy around them.
Yeah, and I know people say, well, there's nothing, no such thing as bad publicity, you know? But there is.
Yeah.
There is, and this is it, because people have completely lost faith in the brand. You know, I wouldn't want my asshole with fucking DC Comics now. Because they've destroyed two brands. Warner Brothers is this incredibly fucking strong studio brand, and whoever's calling the shots between them and DC, someone is fucking way wrong here.
Yeah. Like what I see of Wonder Woman, I am looking forward to it, but then there's that little niggle in the back of my head going, they're going to fuck it up again. Like, I do love the fact that it looks like The Rocketeer. It looks like an old-fashioned kind of 40s
Serial movie?
movie. Yeah, I do love that. But then, back of my head, it happened with Suicide Squad. They're going to fuck it up.
Yeah, I think the Wonder Woman movie has been fan service. And it's like, oh, we better shut the feminists up. Tom's like, oh,
here we go again.
No, but let's just see how it does. Because ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, a movie is judged on its box office. Don't matter if we say it's good or bad, it's judged on its fucking box office.
That's
the
worst.
business.
That's the worst thing about loving films.
And I always maintain that if they're just going to start releasing female-centric fucking movies just so they can please the bra burners who probably won't turn up anyway and will find some other fucking reason to fucking protest, then they're not gonna, it's not gonna do good business. I don't know. It's just, it's a disaster. I think no matter what way you paint it, this Batman story is now a complete and utter mess. Tune in next week to find out what happens.
The DCEU story is a complete and utter fucking mess.
It is, and it's been a mess since the start.
Yeah.
And I think if you look at the cog that's in the middle of all of this, Zack Snyder. And I would have defended Zack Snyder to fucking the end of time. But as soon as Man of Steel came out, I'm like, you fucking I'll watch it again. But I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, we're going to wrap it there, Kitty Winks. So please subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher. Get all the new episodes for free each and every Monday. And of course, you get our gigantic back catalogue over 300 episodes of madness, of interviews, of everything, all for free. And you can download it whenever you want. So that's it. Thanks to our sponsors, The Real Picture Cinemas. If you're in Cork, go check out their new seating and their new screen. It's amazing. And that's it. So podcast at themoviebit.com, at themoviebit on Twitter. His name is Tom White. My name is Victor Barry. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
The MovieBit.com podcasts. Available on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, direct download, and streaming on TheMovieBit.com. Streaming and creaming.